We are going to put on paper a little bit about the transformations we've been talking about. So if you think back to our squares, we talked about translations, we talked about reflections, we've talked about dilations. And so just kind of putting into words what each of those are for our unit. If you take a look at your paper, okay, this first box has our example down here. So we've got this A, B, C, D four-sided figure. And it says this figure slides 7 units to the left and then 3 units down. So we started here and we went this way and then we went down. When we slide like that, that is called a translation. So by definition, what might be easiest, this is going to be when a shape slides. Up, down, left, or right. Up, down, left, or right. Maybe even underline. So translation, we're looking at slide, okay? Translation even has the SL in it to match up with the slide. Some characteristics, we call this a rigid transformation. And what that means is there's no change in the size or the shape. Okay, notice it's still pretty small right now, and it's still pretty small when it's over here when we moved it. Something also that's going to be important is that it is not reflected. Okay, it's still facing the same direction. Okay, we're going up and down, we're going diagonal, we've got a negative slope, and then we have slope of zero. So it didn't change direction, still the same way. So think about translation is when we slide a shape either once or twice. What would be a non-example of a translation? See what you guys come up with. The next one that we're going to talk about, here's my original shape, PQR, and then we have RQP. This isn't a transformation. If I take this and I move it, this is not going to match up. This one is a reflection. And my pen's kind of cutting in and out today, guys. So thanks for your patience. Okay, this example, it got reflected over the x-axis. Okay, look, Q and Q, close to the axis. R and R, still close to the axis. P is furthest away here. P is furthest away here. This is going to be a reflection. Okay. A lot of you earlier, you were saying that this is when a shape flips. Shape. Again, pen issue, guys, working on it. When a shape is going to flip. Okay. It's like we're looking in a mirror. Okay, if this is my mirror, I see the exact same thing coming back at me. If I were to fold this on the x-axis, my points would all match up. This is another rigid transformation. That's an N. It's supposed to be an N. Okay, again, that means there's no change in size or shape. Okay. And most of the time we're reflecting over the x-axis or we are reflecting over the y-axis, but that reflection is like this, and now it's going to be like this. Okay, if I were to fold my paper, I see the exact same thing on the left side, on the right side. Think about what would be a good non-example for a reflection, okay, where something is not flipped. What would be a good example? Our last type of transformation. So we started with ABC, okay, this blue triangle, and then we got bigger with this yellow triangle. Our last type is called dilations. Okay. And so dilation, come on, pen, is when a shape gets bigger or smaller. Okay, so we've got translation where it slides, reflection where it flips, and dilation where the shape either gets bigger or it's going to get smaller. And we'll see some of both. Okay, characteristics. So again, it is going to increase or decrease. Proportionately in size. So it's going to be by the same. Okay, if we change one side, the other side's going to change in the same way. With that changing of size, you're going to be given a scale factor. Okay, you'll be told to multiply by 2 or a half or a quarter. Okay, you will be given a number. Think about, so dilations when something's getting big or small, what would be an example that does not show a dilation? Maybe think about whether it would be a translation or a reflection or just something completely crazy. What would be an example of something that is not a dilation? And then some things to think about. Earlier on in class, so we had these card sorts. So like here are the zebras. Think about, would these zebras show a reflection, a translation, or a dilation? These ones would be a reflection because it flipped. Okay, it's the same thing on the left side as it is on the right side. What about this one with the giraffes? It didn't slide. It didn't reflect like the zebras did. The left side's not the same as the right side, but we have a small one and a big one. This would be a dilation. Okay. We also had all these buses at school. So my buses aren't changing in size. It's not a dilation. I don't have a big one and a small one. My reflection, if I fold this, it's not going to be the same on the left side as it is on the right side. So this would be a translation because it keeps sliding. So think about then, what would this one be, the checkerboard? Translation, dilation, or reflection? This would be a translation. The parts keep moving. Okay, the checkers, the white and the black, they keep moving across the board. What would the popcorn be? Translation, dilation, or reflection? We have a small one and a big one, so that would be a dilation. And then what about the vases? This would be a reflection, because from here it's reflecting in the mirror. The size didn't change. Okay, one's a little bit further away, but the size did not change. So this isn't a dilation. This would be a reflection.